Here we are,
Hello.
record. Hi.
Hi, Tarkan. How are you?
Good. I'm wonderful.
Hi, everybody. We have just had a little bit of a giggle behind the scenes.
Yes, we did.
We are now hopping on to be doing our serious stuff. Well, maybe not so serious. Tarkan is in Germany. I'm in London. We are together here. Hi, Tarkan.
Hi, Agnes. I'm going to try to get your name right now.
Yeah, no, we're both a bit in the name challenging area, aren't we?
Yes, a little bit. Well, your name, well, Agnes is how I always wanted to pronounce it, but it's Agnes.
Yeah, it is Agnes, but I don't know. I just never liked it in English.
Agnes sounds fancier. It sounds nice. It's sort of it's got a bit of a fashion icon kind of thing to it. Yeah? A writer kind of. That's right.
Label. Actually, there is a label called Agnes T. I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought, oh, wow.
Look at that.
Little fashion label.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we have had a little bit of a chat, and you said something really interesting with it, which I think you should say again. What are the top 3 things people really want?
Oh, right, because we were talking about what motivates people, right? Why people come to us and people like us. The top 3 things that motivate people are wealth, health, and love, right?
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I was going to actually talk about this with you because you're probably going to ask me, how did you get on the topic of relationships and exes back and manifesting exes? You know, I did a few videos in the beginning about different things. I think your emotional guidance system and money, and they got a few views, but it was the first video I talked about relationships and getting an ex back that got the most views. And I realized this is what people are really interested in. And it's almost to the point where if I talk about something else now in a video, I don't get that many views.
No.
I'll even lose a couple of subscribers, I notice. You know, like, how dare you? I don't care about money.
I'm not a performing monkey. I can't just talk about this. I know. And I do think it's good for us to talk about it, but I made a decision. I don't want to be just a relationship or specific person or X channel.
Right.
Because I think when you are really interested in that topic and you're struggling with that, getting your head on other topics is what makes you more emotionally attractive in the relationship X or specific person area.
Absolutely. Yes. And well, that's right, because it's about obsession in the end, right?
Yeah.
And if you, I tell people this, if you put somebody else on your pedestal, it's your pedestal.
Yeah.
You're the center of your universe. You're the star in your life.
Yeah.
If you're putting somebody else up there, what's going on there? You first of all, they don't want that pressure on them. Nobody wants that pressure on them.
Yeah.
To be put there on the pedestal of your life. They want to be on their own pedestal, right? But think about, I ask people, think about if the shoe were on the other foot, if they were that obsessed about you, thinking about, should I text them or blowing up their phone all the time and that kind of thing, how attractive would you find them, right? Or that behavior, probably not very attractive.
Yeah.
So, a lot of this is about I talk about attractiveness because we're talking about law of attraction.
Yeah.
And that's not physical attractiveness. That's energetic attractiveness, right? That's developing a kind of charisma that makes people want to be automatically around you, that makes them sort of, who's that? What's that girl about? What's that guy about, right?
Yeah.
You kind of shine, you beam, you're enjoying your life, you're enjoying yourself. And that's really what gets people going, right?
Yeah.
Including your specific person. They're going to be interested in what's happening with them, right? Look at that. They're having the time of their life. It's the fun bus. They're on their own fun bus.
Yeah.
And love is invitational. It's not manipulative and it's not obsessive. It's saying my life is already amazing and awesome. You're invited to come along. I would love for you to come along on my ride, and then I'll be on your ride too. But that's the approach that we need with that.
Yeah. And I think too, like in my relationship, we're together, but then, we have, when I'm in Sydney, obviously we're not together, and my partner, works where he actually, stays the night at his workplace and does, like a 24-hour thing. So we often have times where we're apart, and that's what makes the relationship good, because he comes back and it's like, hi, happy to see you. And, then we catch up on stuff, and we keep in contact throughout the day when we're not together. But there's this thing where I'm focused on what I'm doing and I'm fully absorbed in what I'm doing, and I'm not having thoughts of him at that time. I'm living my life and doing what I love.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you're coexisting, you're living side by side.
Yeah. So it's togetherness with freedom. Togetherness with freedom. Yeah.
That's something, and this is not something, that's not my quote. There's a relationship coach who deals mostly with dating and men on YouTube. And he always says this. He says, if you love somebody, you have to love them in such a way that they feel free. They have to feel free, that they can be themselves, they can grow and explore themselves. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, because you mentioned it, see, now my brain is going because you're,
yeah, go,
20 things are going right in my head. The other thing about it, I told somebody this recently too. I had an issue too. Well, not an issue really, but I had a friend and we had similar kind of concerns about our dating life some years ago. You know, we would date a girl for 3 months and then it would sort of, we'd sabotage it or something like that. Just at that moment when it got settled into that sort of habituation kind of part, right?
Yeah.
Because we like the adventure part of it. We like the feeling of aliveness, of the honeymoon period. So he looked at me one day and said, Tarkan, you and I are both honeymoon chasers, aren't we? You know, we like that sort of that 3 months of can't keep our hands off each other and constantly texting and calling and thinking about each other. But that's why you have to decide exactly what it is that you want. If you want a relationship with somebody, then go to the point where it feels normal. You take it almost for granted, right? You think they're there. It's like how you interact with your family, with your siblings or your parents at home. It's a normal feeling. It's not going to be this, you're not going to text each other every day. You're not going to think about each other every day, right? So, because I get people, you probably get this too. How do I get them to text me? And how do that's what I want. I said, well, do you want them to obsess over you? Or do you want to have a relationship with them? What is it you want? Because if you think you have to manifest every step of the process to get to the relationship, then you're biting off way more than you can chew. Yeah. And you should stop doing that right now, right? But if you like the back and forth and the little game, and that's okay. If that's what you want, perfect. Yes, you can manifest text messages. You can manifest this kind of stuff. Yeah. But you have to be really clear about what it is you want exactly. Right? And most people aren't. So many people are not clear about that. You probably find the same issue.
I do. And, you know, I was looking the other day that my most viewed YouTube is how to get a text message.
Yes.
And I just thought, you know, I understand that that's important, but really you're not just after a text message, you're after connection.
Yes.
And if you spend more time watching the self-love videos and practicing meditation and calming your emotional and mental self down and fulfilling the love from within and getting to the point where you can radiate it out rather than you're trying to scoop it and get it, you will get much further towards what you want. So, you know, spend less time watching the text message video and watch more of Louise Hay doing self-love, or you talking about self-love, or me, or whoever. There's lots of people that talk about self-love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are the YouTubes that will bring up that in you and therefore create, well, it's already created as we know, but bring it in towards you. That's where the real gem is, not the text message YouTube. That one's okay, but don't spend your whole life watching that again and again and again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's instant gratification.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. People want instant relief and instant gratification. They want to know that text message is going to tell them and put their mind at ease. Now they still love me. They still think about me. They're missing me. But here's the thing. That's like a drug. That's like an adrenaline push or whatever, or dopamine push. And you're going to want that again and again and again. So in the end, it's not, you've become addicted to them or the idea of them or the idea of getting these text messages. Because that high will last for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're going, well, I haven't heard from them in an hour or in a day or in a week. And I get that a lot. How do I stop thinking about them? I say, focus on yourself.
Yeah. And you crash and burn mentally and emotionally when you're not getting what you think you should be getting. But if you ask yourself, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to do this text message thing over and over, ask yourself, what is it in me that I need that?
Yes, that's what it is. What's missing?
Why do I need that so badly? I've got to look at that I'm not satisfied. And it's this constant dissatisfaction in me that pushes love away, that pushes relationships away, because people feel it and don't want to be around me. If I'm satisfied, if I feel loved and wanted, that's attractive.
Well, that's the thing. And your happiness is not somebody else's responsibility. And likewise, their happiness is not your responsibility.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the world was like that? Well, it is in a lot of ways. I think that's why we have so many issues in the world.
Yeah.
people are always looking to other people, pushing them, manipulating them in some way to make them happy. I got to get their money because there's not enough to go around. I got to get their love because there's not enough to go around. It's this lackful mindset that we have. I don't know where human beings started with that, but there's this feeling that there's not enough of this or that to go around. And we're talking about energy, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, love is energy. How can there not be enough energy to go? You know, it's, time. People worry about time all the time, right? How long is it going to take? It's already been a year and I'm going to run out of time. I said, well, what have you been doing in that year? You know, how are you, if you're sitting around waiting for someone to show up for a year, of course you're going to have a miserable time. Yeah. You are wasting your time. I mean, you're not focusing on yourself. You're not doing the things that make you happy. Yeah. Right. That's, and what is that going to be? What are you really after? It's a feeling every time, isn't it? It's a state of being. I mean, anything that you desire. Abraham Hicks says this, and I always loved Abraham. Yeah. Anything you want because of how you think you're going to feel when you have it. So get to that state. What is it you want? If you want security, and that's why you want a relationship, then look for security. Reach for feelings of security. You already have that going on in your life. Yeah. If it's adventure, if it's aliveness, if it's being adored and loved, you already have love and adoration in your life. Yeah. You know, look at your puppy. Pick up your puppy or your cat or your kid or your mom or dad or whoever it is. Even the strangers smiling at you on the street or holding the door open for you or doing something nice for you, letting you pass in your car, that's a form of love, right? But people think that doesn't mean anything, or it's too tiny to you know, to count. But it does.
Not enough. It's not enough.
No, it's not enough. It's not it's not them. I want them. I need them to love me, right? I've been there. I get it.
Me too. Me too.
You know, I don't want to judge people for that. I think everyone's at their level and at their stage with this, where they need to be right now. Yeah. Sometimes you can't hear it when somebody tells you, "Hey, just let go of that." Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hear it when you're in the gridlock of it. You can't see. But I think it's continually listening to Abraham Hicks or Neville or Wayne Dyer or Catherine Ponder or whoever that talks about
Agnes Vivarelli.
Yeah, and Donald too. We will keep saying it.
That's right.
Like you say, we have been there and we understand the suffering that comes from it and the anguish and but when you look back at yourself now, you go, wow. Yeah. I really was so obsessed with getting love from the outside. And that was the issue, was that belief and that thought that that's how it works. But if you start to really, you know, come from there's enough time, love, and money, and bring that into your affirmations and your belief systems, there is enough time, there is enough love, and you slow everything down.
You slow everything down, and you can take baby steps with this. You know, don't try to jump to the top of the ladder right away. You know, I had somebody ask me yesterday, and I did a video on this. How do I stop? How do I get to believing more and trusting more when I have all this past stuff with them and all these hang-ups and everything that happened? And then, you know, the last line was something like, how do I uproot all this resistance? And I said, you know, resistance is what you want. It's important to have that because it's like a roadmap or a compass for you in your life. You don't understand where you are in relationship to where you want to be if you don't have that little bit of pushback from life. That's that's kind of why we come into this environment, I think, to have that experience, right? That time lag and that you're like you've got this smorgasbord in front of you. And you're going to eat just one thing. No, you're going to try out everything a little bit, right? I don't like that fish, or I like this Jello, or whatever the hell it is, right? That's what life is about. Experiment, take a little taste of everything, and then you formulate new preferences and new desires out of that, right? That's how you expand and keep moving forward. You don't want to sit still. Exactly. Because even if you get your specific person or your ex back, there's still going to be something more you'll want. Yeah. Right? The relationship won't always be perfect or exactly how you want it to be. Something may always seem like it's missing. So, you know, that's, I mean, I had that experience. That's, you know, I dated exactly the kind of girl I wanted at that time. I wrote down every detail about her. And then we were together and I thought, this is so perfect. But then suddenly it didn't feel so perfect anymore. You know? And it wasn't her fault. It wasn't something she did wrong. It was just that I had grown now. Now I'd expanded, right? And I wanted something different. You know?
And Abraham Hicks says this so well, the cracks start to appear.
The cracks start to appear every time, especially if you put your happiness on somebody else's shoulders. They're not capable of carrying that burden. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true.
The patina.
The what?
The patina. I like that. You know, you start getting the patina. It's like the sheen has worn off.
Yes. Yes. That's true. That's true. You know, I find in my relationship today, if something, you know, something happens and I'm, you know, just about it, I just go, okay, rather than going, why is he doing that? I go, hang on a minute. What have I been doing mentally and emotionally that's in front of me?
Yeah.
You know, and things can pass so quickly because you just go, hang on, this was me. I was feeling, you know, just not happy, or I was tired. And then I was looking at why is he doing that or whatever. And then you go, okay, hang on. You know, and that's when I practice the Ho'oponopono, or that's when I go, this is the best relationship I've ever had. I love how we connect. I love how we understand each other. And then you get back on the horse. And then, you know, then you get that shift on the outside and you go, nice. I changed it again. Lovely.
And it can feel difficult, but it's practice. And the more you do it, the easier it is. You just keep talking to yourself, keep speaking to yourself. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It can be hard, especially because you're trying to undo, people try to undo all that old programming they have, that negativity and that negative self-talk. I tell people, don't try to undo that stuff. You know, if you have a new operating system for your computer, you don't uninstall the old one first. You just install the new one on top of it. It dominates.
Yes.
So if you want to get rid of a bad habit or anything, you don't try to get rid of the habit. You just introduce a new, better habit.
Yes.
And keep practicing it until that dominates and becomes the primary way that you operate.
That's so important. I'm so glad you brought that up, because you can't go back and fix problems. You got to focus on the solutions, and then that problem plant dies if you stop watering it. So
that's the jibber jabber industry. I call that talk therapy. I think, you know, sometimes it's important for some people, I think, you know, when they've suffered certain traumas or things like that. But so many people they run to the therapist for years and years, and the notion is that if you just keep talking, let's just keep digging down in there and get our fingers dirty. Nothing ever changes. You just get more unhappy. You're more focused on your unhappiness and what's going on there. You know, you're not moving forward.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Having gone to therapy myself years ago when it was really fashionable, you go there and you just want to tell your problem, and you go over it with emotion and thought and focus, and then whoosh, another wave.
Yeah, you're giving it airtime.
Yeah.
But maybe that's how they hang on to patients. I don't know.
Yeah, keeps the business kicking
I got a great comment on a video a while back. This woman said, Tarkan, I love your video. This video was so amazing. I learned everything I needed to know. I feel bad because now I don't have to watch any of your other videos. You know, I said, that's perfect. I think if I'm a good coach, I will coach myself right out of a job, right out of a client. You know, I don't want you to keep coming back to me. If you do that, I have to start wondering, what am I saying? You know, what am I doing? Am I really helping people? You know?
Yes.
You should become obsolete at some point.
Yes. That's right. You know, I've got no clients. I've done a great job. Everybody's done.
That's right. Well, there's always going to be somebody. That's the beauty of it, right? 12 billion people or whatever we have now on the planet. They all want love.
But they need to be new people so that you know that the job you've done with the old people is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks says, they joke about this. They say, you know, all the same faces. I wonder if we're really reaching people here. You know, I don't know. You guys keep coming back. You know,
keep coming back. Yeah.
But it's that reassurance that people need too. Sometimes you just need to keep hearing it. And I find often when I've been coaching people now, sometimes all they want to hear is they just want me to pep them up a little bit, right? They don't even have any questions necessarily. They just want to hear somebody say, you can do this. It's going to be okay. You're doing great. You get a lot of that. It's they just want to pep talk.
Reiterating the good daily practice. You know, you're doing your affirmations. Are you doing your meditation? Are you doing meditations in line with the desire that you have? Are you, you know, taking care of yourself? Is your self-love and self-care and self-worth? Are you doing your exercise, drinking water, eating properly, all these things? Because, you know, sleeping. A lot of people are exhausted, Tarkan.
Sure. Yes, they are.
Exhausted, and you can't manifest if you're exhausted because the vibe that goes out from you is limp.
Yes, it's limp. I like that word. That's precisely what it is. It's ineffectual at that point.
Yeah.
You're not giving yourself the opportunity.
It's good Dan Radio Style isn't here at that moment where I said that.
Oh, is that right? He would have made it. We have made an inappropriate crack there, I think.
Yeah, he would not have let that slide. I just had a flash of him go.
We're just getting to know each other, so I'm trying to, I'm trying to be on my best behavior. But I think if we chat some more in the future, you'll definitely my inappropriate, my sailor will come out.
Oh, that's all right. I think it's those little inappropriate moments that just, capture people's quirkiness.
I think it makes us accessible, right?
Yeah.
It makes you accessible, yeah. I noticed that you guys too, when you dance chat though, you're careful not to use the words. On my videos, I let one slip out. I'll let an F-bomb slip out sometimes. I think that's who I am. That's how I speak though. Yeah. Sometimes for emphasis, you need it, Yeah.
Yeah.
And people like it. I think people are okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is a lot of just being human, isn't there? Just and especially when you're getting really intense about something, that does tend to pop out.
Well, part of, my thinking even with the channel and what I really want to achieve with this personally is I want to make this stuff accessible to a broader audience. I think this, more than just you can attract and create a relationship or get what you want. I think this is a recipe for how humanity can move into the future and deal with each other, because we do seem to have a lot of hangups and problems on this planet right now. And I think this is a very good opportunity. It's a great opportunity right now with all the technology that we have. Think about Neville Goddard's time. What did he have? Books and lectures and records, right?
And
I think
radio,
he would record his radio. But really, how broad can you imagine if he was alive now using YouTube? All the things and all the tools that we have now.
Oh my goodness.
You could reach a much broader audience. And I've got people from Japan and from India and from South America and, Poland and wherever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do as well, that are listening and going, hey, I want to, and I think that's fascinating. It's amazing. So I don't want to bring so much woo-woo into it. And I don't want to bring so much of this stuff that makes people kind of roll their eyes when they hear law of attraction and manifest.
Yeah.
It's like gravity. It's like anything that you use that's just part of the way that the universe works. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was 17, my mum used to listen to louise Hay. And the only people that listened to Louise Hay really in those days were the hippies that, didn't have jobs, and people that were just living in communes, and people, it was really that crew that was listening to that. And I was like, 17, thought I was, that I knew everything, and that, and I'd roll my eyes and go, oh my God, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
And, whereas now, like, the whole industry is so much for conservative, alternative, and everybody in between. It's like people listen to this across the board. So it's not just the alternative crew that used to listen to it. It's now, the butter has been spread across the whole piece of toast. So it is very much, accessible to everybody. And I think that's what's great. And like you say, the medium of YouTube has really exposed it to anybody in any part of the world that has a Wi-Fi connection, and YouTube isn't banned in their country.
Right.
You can have a look and learn. And I think that's what's so great, is that we can look up very specific things, and I know people do when they come up and see our channels, they've searched for something specific.
Yes, that's right. That's why we have our keywords that we always tap into.
Yes.
X-back specific person. I know. I've searched that stuff plenty of times.
Searched that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Also, I think it's difficult to, wherever you are in the world and whatever your family situation or your friendship situation, it's difficult to find people who are on the same page as you. You kind of discover this stuff, and you look around and you realize nobody you seems to understand what you're on about right now. And so this is a good way to kind of find a tribe for yourself. And I think it's important to not try this journey on your own. It can be very isolating sometimes for people.
For sure.
So they look for videos like ours. They want to be, there's others out there that feel like me. I started this Facebook group because I wanted that to be kind of a place where people, I'm not so involved in it. I'm not so hands-on with it.
Yep.
I moderate very lightly, but I let people just kind of, hey, talk to each other. That's what I want. You guys should be, you're on the same path here. You're trying to do something similar. You should be supporting each other and speaking to each other and getting to know each other. Yeah.
Well, that's good, 𝗪𝗏. We'll put the link to that Facebook group.
Perfect.
Under the channel, and one of the viewers in my on my channel started a Facebook group called Manifestors United too. I pop in and out, but she's really the one that takes care of it. So
perfect.
It's like you say, then at least people know that they're going to, you know, people can mention law of attraction, specific person manifesting, Neville Goddard, and people in there will understand what they're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
Can you hear me with the guy mowing the grass in the background?
Yes, I'm not hearing the guy at all.
Oh, good.
People ripping up the street outside too. I don't know.
I can't hear that. No, I can't hear that. That's good.
German construction crews. You know, they get very, yeah. They're all.
Are they wearing the outfit?
No, they got all their shirts off now. I don't know. I think my mom's been on the balcony downstairs. No.
Tarkon, what's that little outfit called? That lovely little Austrian German.
Oh, are we talking about lederhosen?
Yes.
Yes.
I couldn't think of the word.
I'm from the north, so we don't really do that.
You don't wear that?
Much. No. That's kind of what the bumpkins.
And just wear it in the next YouTube.
I think my family would disown me if I did that. No. See, now we're also arch enemies of theirs with the football league. So you know, Bayern is Bavaria. So what are you wearing?
Okay.
No, it's a joke, of course. Actually, that's a very Southern German thing. They take that. That's very. There's a lot of pride around that.
Yes.
They call it, right. It's the sort of the lederhosen and the shirts and the whole thing. Yeah.
I know. I was
those
watching
things are expensive.
I was watching that cooking show called 𝗫𝗏𝗍𝗫𝗏𝗍 Bake-a-thon, and they wore one.
Oh, they wore. I have not seen that. Check that out now. Yeah.
Oh my God, it is side splitting because they're both quite round because they're both overeaters, and they stretch themselves to fit into one of those things. And it
yes.
Honestly, that alone is well worth a watch.
Yeah, they are pretty hilarious. I know. I laugh about. I can be careful. I had a woman comment me, "I'm in Bavaria. You should come by sometime." And you know, we always kind of make fun of each other a little bit because their dialect is very different from our dialect.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they get really into it, we have trouble understanding them. We think, "Oh, are we in Germany right now?" You know, it's kind of like, but this is. I don't know what this place is, but all right. Feather in the hat and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I get that a lot. People say, "Bring me a pair of lederhosen." I said, "You know, it's like asking a guy from New York to bring you a cowboy hat. I mean, it's not
gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen, you know."
Well, people keep asking me, you know, about the kangaroos and the killer spiders and the crocodiles in Australia, and it's the same. I mean, I'm in Sydney, so I'm not in the outback where they
You're in the city. Yes, right. We don't have kangaroos over here, right?
No. Oh,
just like buffalo don't go running down the street in LA or something.
Yeah, exactly. So can I ask you, what are you doing personally, like in terms of what are you reading? Are you still reading Neville? Or who are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading, you know, at the moment, I'm actually taking a break from reading at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I've been so involved in the channel and doing all this, and even the coaching has been going so well that I'm not finding a lot of time to read right now.
Yeah.
But I'll brush up on things. Sometimes I'll try to look up. I have my Kindle reader, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that thing because I can put all the books on there that I need and I can reference anytime. I've gotten into Neville. I've gotten into Abraham Hicks and people that write about Abraham Hicks. I've gotten into what's Veronica Isles. She's on your channel a lot of times too. Yeah, and also this gentleman Richard 𝗙់that I.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah, and he's very. I don't think that's even his real name. I have a feeling he mentions that in his books. He's got quite a few. And I think it's a pen name or something like that too. It's difficult to find on the internet. I think he's got another life that he doesn't want people to really know that he's writing law of attraction books and he's into the weirdness, right?
Yeah, it does attract a lot of weird people, this subject, that's for sure.
I'm very much I talk about this too a lot in the videos. I don't like this whole take this step, 3 steps to do this and 5 steps to do that, because I've done that stuff and I've sort of gotten into those kinds of teachings, and I think it could work for some people that really like a lot of structure in their life. But I'm much more, I like to just kind of speak more theoretically about things in that sense. You know what I mean? Just sort of more off the top of my head, you know, off the cuff a little bit. So Richard 𝗙់is much less of this, here's the process for this and here's what you do then. And he speaks much more about sort of the scale, the manifesting scale, and how you kind of have to fit in the middle, into the center of this, between wanting and being okay with not having it, right?
Okay.
it's a lot less sort of intellectual. It's a lot more esoteric, I would say. But I've enjoyed his books very much. No, he's not anywhere else on the internet. I've tried to find him.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really want to get the podcast part of my thing going. And I want to have it not just be me jabbering for 2-3 hours. I want to get people, interview them. And in fact, I'm going to invite you one of these days.
Yeah, sure.
I've looked for people like him. I've looked for him, and he's very elusive. So I think that's not even his real name. He mentions that in a book. He says, I don't really want people in my life to know I'm doing this. So
yeah. Wow.
I wonder if there's even a person named Richard Dotz. That's probably, it's a completely different name. But his books are all over Amazon, and I would recommend those.
Okay.
Yeah.
DOTTS?
Yes, DOTTS, DOTTS.
Okay. I'll put a link down below as well, so people can follow the thread of the elusive.
Absolutely. There's not, see, he doesn't talk so much about relationships, but it's just manifesting in general. I think it's, you know, all this, people ask me, well, what if I want to manifest this? I don't want to manifest money. Will this work for relationships or whatever it is? It's all the same thing. Yeah. It's the same process. It's just as simple as manifesting this or manifesting that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's good. I'm reading a self-love workbook by 𝗙anye 𝗪𝗓.
𝗙anye 𝗪𝗓.
Yeah, and she's someone I'd never heard of, but one of the viewers on my channel said she bought the workbook and she was working through it. So I've bought it because I thought I want to work through it myself, so that way I can recommend it. So it is good. It's good. It goes through exercises, and it's just a lovely, good self-love, focusing on you, which is what we started this interview about, is working on self. So anything that can help you do that is, but it's very much the turtle wins the race with this, because I don't have a huge amount of time to read.
That's what happens. Yeah.
I am trying to go back to not just doing things with people, but doing those things for me and keeping my own journey as well. So this next 6 months is that, like, making sure I spend at least, you know, I think you can just read half an hour a day. Yeah. Doesn't have to be that you sit down and read a whole book, you know, so just.
No, although I'll do that. I'll do that though, because I'll sit down once I get going. I can't stop.
You don't want to stop. I know.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I'll take it over here now. I'll take it to the kitchen. Yeah. I'll take it to, you know.
I know. Take it into the bathroom.
Yeah, bathroom everywhere.
Bathroom reading.
Everywhere. Just don't drive with it in your phone. So that's the only thing. But I'll try to read. I'd read at night now. I'll try to read, but then I'll just conk right out. So my eyes start getting droopy. And
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you mentioned something very interesting, and there has to be time for ourselves too, right? Yeah. Because we are still manifesting. We are still learning. Yeah. Yeah. There's
and making sure there's time. I mean, I try to meditate twice a day, not because I have to, because I actually enjoy. I love laying in bed and not opening my eyes, and I'll put on like a 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 meditation, or I'll put on that Wayne Dyer I Am, which is just music.
Oh yeah, I love Wayne Dyer.
Yeah, and then I can do my own imaginal scenes, or I can just repeat one affirmation, you know. So I start my morning. I lay in bed usually for about an hour before I get up.
That's really nice. That's a nice thing to do. We chatted before we recorded. We chatted a bit about doing meditation videos. Yes. And you said some people don't like the music, and sometimes I like the videos that only have the music. Yes. And I'll put on my big headphones, you know, in the morning.
And it's surround sound right in your ear.
Right in my ear, and it's just water sounds and sort of rustling and this kind of. It's like I'm in some kind of forest or on the beach somewhere. I love that. It relaxes me right immediately from the get-go. Yeah. I'll make my breakfast that way and everything.
It's good daily routines of things that just, you know, pockets of joy, things that make you feel good. And you know, the more you do this work, the more you eliminate the things you don't like, the more you introduce things you do like, and then your whole life every day is good because you're not doing anything you don't like to do. It's so wonderful.
Well, it's about how you react too. People say, how do I get rid of resistance? And don't try to get rid of resistance, but you're going to change how you react to the challenges in your life. You're going to change, you know, because if one little thing throws you off kilter for the whole day, then you probably have a lot of work to do in the area of just calming, like you said, calming yourself down, doing the meditations, doing the, you know, what you do, the audio and the videos with the sounds and the binaural beats and whatever it is, right? The calming, soothing music. Before you try to focus, you don't come at your visualizations and all that from this place of being so verklempt, right? So so sort of bottled up about everything.
Yeah.
Calm down first. Leave that stuff for now.
Yes.
Stop thinking about them for now.
Yes.
And focus it back on yourself and just calm down. And then you can concentrate better and you can focus better when you're just coming from a place of, oh, okay, now I'm just gonna ease into this now, right?
Yeah. A soft, open hand.
A soft, open hand.
Rather than this.
Yeah, and that's what we do. No! Call back!
Call me now!
I can't be happy.
Yeah. Or I will skin you if you don't call me.
Well, you know what, my biggest challenge is still I'm a complete control freak when it comes to things in my life, you know, and that's down to ask my friends and family too. It's nope, that has to be that way over there. That's bothering me because it's off a little bit, you know, and I got to adjust that on my desk or whatever it is, right? I need to be able to see 10 steps ahead so I know what I'm anticipating, what's to anticipate. I like predictability. And I think that's what so many people, this thing for them is about, is predictability. They always come and ask the question of, tell me if this is going to be okay. Can I still manifest them? Is this going to happen? Because they want to know, you know, it makes us uneasy not to be able to know what's around the corner.
Yes.
Right? But you have to become comfortable with that.
Yeah.
It's a challenge for me too. Yeah. It's been a challenge. And just letting go. I think the calming and the meditation helps with that, because you go, you know what? F it. I'm just going to go and see what happens. You know, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and do what I need to do, and then go off and just, I'm open to whatever.
Is that the teeth?
Brushing my teeth and, you know, drinking the coffee and put on my whatever and go to work and whatever I'm doing, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, brush your teeth and a coffee. That's a good start to the day.
Yeah. Be open to all kinds of possibilities. So many times you don't even know, there's stuff out there that you didn't even know you wanted, that your inner being understands that you want, right?
Yeah.
A woman wrote me, I did a success story, because she said, I manifested back my ex, and then this whole other guy came in that I knew 7 years ago. I had such a crush on him, and I thought, he's so out of my league. And right as I'm manifesting back my person, he starts showing up, and I thought, oh, well, I kind of like him actually, you know? And I thought, well, that's perfect. Look at that. Because what happens is, not only will your specific person come back, but so many others, and you'll have options.
Yes.
That's what you want in life. You want options. You don't want to just think this is the only person, this is the only one out there. Because if you're coming from that, you're not quite ready yet to even have them, I don't think. I don't think you're going to manifest them that easily from that mindset. Right?
Yes. Yeah, it's when you're more, you know, I'd really like that person, but okay, if I'm relaxed, if they come, if you get to the point where you can say, you know what, I'll be okay whether they come or not, that's usually when they come.
Yeah, that's usually when they come. And then somebody else too. I mean, this happened to me. And
somebody else too. Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, I was in this boat. There was a young lady I was very obsessed about. And, you know, that's kind of when I started discovering this for myself a little bit. Oh, I can manifest people and relationships. This is fascinating. And that's what started me on that journey for myself. And there came a point when I was so drained and exhausted from all the resistance and all the energy I was putting into it, that one day I said, you know what, to hell with this. I'm just not going to do this anymore. Yeah. And I deserve better. I deserve better than to be treated this way or to treat myself this way.
Yeah.
And I'm open to whatever comes along now. And I know it's going to be okay. I know I'm going to meet somebody fantastic, even if it's not her. Yeah. And, you know, 2 days later, I fall into this relationship with this person, this girl, and we dated for several months. And in the middle of dating her, I found an old journal entry that I was cleaning up around my office area. And I found an old journal entry where I had made a list of my perfect girlfriend. I'd read it in a book. I'm like, I'm going to sit down and do this.
Yeah.
She has brown hair and she has this kind of smile and she's into these things. And I swear to you, I was laughing about it. I remember when I wrote this, and I started getting goosebumps because I realized that I was dating that very person.
Wow.
Almost to a T. And I thought, wow, this was not the person I originally had in mind. I didn't even know she and I were a possibility. But here I was, and I'm reading this list that I made where I was describing this person almost to a T. So that's when I first realized there's something here, right? Yeah. This is, there's more to this than meets the eye. Yeah,
for sure.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, that is.
But you manifested your person back.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I had a very specific type, and I had a very specific, you know, and I remember thinking, because we were friends for a while, for quite a long while, obviously, because we were living in different countries. So, you know, we were friends for quite a long time before we connected, as partners, because of the distance, and because I had a job then and I couldn't leave for more than 1 month a year. I mean, that was the reality. And I remember thinking, okay, if this is ever going to work, I have to break free of a job, and I have to break free of that I can't leave the country whenever I want.
Right.
I need to be able to move around. And that's when the whole desire to have my own business, and the whole desire to break free of being an employee, and break free of, I have to work. And I remember thinking, because I was driving all over Sydney and, you know, working in all these different shopping centers, and sometimes it would take me an hour and 15 minutes, or depending on the traffic, to get to work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I so want to eliminate this from my life.
Yeah.
And I want to lay in bed, and I want to work from home, and I want to control the environment, because I'm a bit of a control freak too when it comes to how warm I am, and the noise and the heating. Those are two things I like. Quiet, and I like to be warm.
You want to be cocooned, right? You want to be I've watched some of your videos in the past, and you'll be in bed, you're just kind of, that looks like a good job. I think I'm going to try that too.
Exactly. And I remember thinking, I don't want to hear anyone's voice before 10 a.m. No one. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear you.
Oh, gosh. I'm
really a slow waker-upper.
Yeah.
And I feel assaulted by hearing people's voices before 10. So it was like,
thank you. I'm not the only one.
I know.
Okay. I thought, I'm such a meanie in the mornings. I hate it, but you know what? That's just how I am. I need that time for myself.
Are you a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Yeah,
yes. Although I will go to bed early. I try to thing now, especially when I travel, it's the melatonin. I take it so that it regulates the time difference a little bit faster. But then it makes me want to go to bed sooner too. And then I'll wake up at 5 a.m. suddenly. But I'm not active at 5 a.m. by any means. I mean, the most I'm doing is I'm going to the bathroom, then going back to bed.
Going back to bed.
Check my phone. Okay, is there anybody? Okay, what do they want?
Yeah, exactly.
Close my eyes, but I'm not a morning. Till I've had breakfast and a cup of tea, and then I'll ease into the day. Now you can speak to me.
and hence why we did this interview at 10 a.m. my time and 11 a.m. your time.
Perfect. I kept thinking, let's see. Oh, she's in London. That's good. I don't have to be 10 a.m. I wake up at 9. I'm getting breakfast. And I'm staying with my mother right now. And God bless her. She's a very talkative person in the morning.
Is she a morning person?
I said, you've just been sleeping for 8 hours. How can you have so much? What happened in that time? There's
my mom's a morning person too. I hear you. Mom? I just go, Mom.
Yeah, no, she already knows my face.
You just in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I'll answer
give me a moment, please.
Mom, you're freaking me out. You're freaking me out.
Just like your father. Yes.
Yeah, you're just like your father.
Your dad used to sit like that too, and he never spoke to me in the mornings.
Just like your father.
Just like your father, yeah.
My mom said to me recently, she said, "You're getting worse." I go, "I know."
Yeah, that's what happens. We get older.
Worse.
Yeah, we get older. That's pay attention, folks, too. That's you ask about time. Getting older can help too, because you put up with a lot less BS in life.
Can I ask how old you are? Is that a bad question?
No, it's a great question. Actually, I'm going to turn 44 on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Sunday. That's
cool.
Right.
44.
It's sneaking up on me. I keep forgetting. I've been traveling. We're going to be driving. We're going to be on the road then too.
Nice.
So I'm going to be driving to Turkey probably I'll be in Serbia somewhere just to try to avoid a speeding ticket. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm older than you. I'm 52.
No way. Oh, well, look, I'm going gray already and I got everything going. Yeah.
I know the gray kicks in at about your age.
Yeah, no, that's about what happens now. Well, both my mom and dad went gray early too. That's it. And my father, I guess on the Turkish side, that's a thing. So they could go gray very early.
Yeah.
But I don't really care.
No.
Sometimes I'll splash something in there, purple or something. I have a friend who's got a very white. He's in his 60s. and he'll go on these festivals like Burning Man stuff. And
Yeah.
he'll put purple. I dyed it blue today, you know, or something.
Oh,
that sounds good.
Cute.
Why not?
Yeah. Tarkon, you have to watch the 𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗍 Bakeathon. I know you will.
Actually, I'm going to
talking to you today. Honestly,
𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗍 Bakeathon. I'm going to actually open up a page for that right now.
Yeah, 𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗍 Bakeathon.
Because you told me about it. Now I'm going to have to watch it.
There's one episode where they bought some at some weird market, farmer's market. One lady crocheted some underpants with appendages, and they put eyes and beards on the appendages. So of course, you guys had to buy them and wear them for the show. So
yes, of course. No, well, now I want to stay on YouTube, so I don't want to get, you know, they're gonna go. They just took a look at my channel, like, ooh, 1,000 followers. Let's see what he's about. And I'm gonna wear the weird crocheted appendages underwear from.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, I can hear Dan already on that one as well.
Is this? Are we capable of doing a three-way thing on this app too?
We can.
That'd be fun someday to have just a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will organize a three-way with Dan Radio.
I think that would be a blast. I love Dan as well. I think I laugh at him when you guys chat. You guys have such a great rapport going on. Yeah. And he reminds me of a friend of mine, actually, like a longtime friend. Just his sense of humor and his way of speaking. It's just like him. Yeah.
He's an absolute certified organic nut. That he is.
Well, aren't we all a little bit? Look what we're doing here.
I know. Look what we're doing. Exactly.
I couldn't possibly have a normal life. That's not. No, it's not in the cards. Never was.
Some of us do not beat to the normal drum. That's for sure.
No, we do not. No, I have way too many unanswered questions in my head that normal life cannot answer for me.
That normal life cannot answer. Yeah.
Institutions can't answer that for me. I have
to
search for those. Yeah, fascinating stuff. I mean, I don't know. How did you get on this? You know, I was thinking about this too, because I figured she's probably going to ask me about how did I get into law of attraction. I've been into UFOs. I've been into all this stuff. I still am. I find it fascinating. Yeah. You know, I used to listen to Art Bell back in the day. I don't know if you're familiar. He was an old, in the middle of the night, AM radio guy. He used to talk about all the paranormal stuff and the UFOs.
Yeah.
You know, that always inspired me to want to do a podcast or do something radio related as well.
Yeah.
But just the curiosity. I have such a natural curiosity about this stuff. I don't ever want to stop learning.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. I don't ever want to feel like I know everything now. That's it. It's over. Yeah.
Eternal students.
Eternal students. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we will do another one to be continued.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I will put down below all the links from what Tarkon and I talked about today, so you can go and find him. And we will see you. We will invite our other organic nut, Dan Radio, to join us for the next session.
I think that would be wonderful. Absolutely.
Well, do you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for having me on. And yes, it's been exciting.
Say goodbye in German.
Auf Wiedersehen. Oder wir sagen auf Deutsch, Tschüss. Tschüss sagen wir auch bei uns.
Beautiful.
That's another way to say goodbye. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Tschüss. Tschüss. Yeah, it's more informal. It's like TSCHUSS. So that's going to be rough for some people.
Nice. Yeah. But you know what? There's a lot of Germans that watch the channel. They're going to love it.
Oh yeah, I have some. I have a coaching client. She's from Germany, actually.
Yeah.
Hello, wie geht's dir?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Love the international part of what we do. It's brilliant.
Oh, it is. It's fascinating. Everybody out there wants the same things. No matter where you're from,
where you are in the world,
your culture, your ethnic background, you know, we really are after the same things in life. Yeah.
True.
It's fascinating.
Well, everybody, you know where we'll be, in the usual place on YouTube for the next one. We'll see you then.
That's right.
Stay on and we'll say goodbye in private.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Take care.